City Council votes to give the Globe Theatre a one-time financial grant, a celebration in Estevan for a pivotal piece of medical equipment. The Pats hope to fill the stands with cheaper ticket prices.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. It appears the Globe Theatre in Regina will be around for a little while longer. There were concerns cost overruns from recent renovations might force them to exit stage left. But as Donovan Mace tells us, the city has reached into its reserve fund to provide a one-time bailout.
There will be no curtain call for the Globe Theatre.
The Globe is important to Regina.
Regina City Council unanimously approving a $1.38 million grant for its downtown hallmark.
The Globe is an extremely important part of downtown, and now we have viability for the rest of our season.
After its recent renovations went well over budget, the Globe says it is more than $16 million in debt.
This is a capital infrastructure project that once we get that overhead out from over us, our operations are sound.
Weaver's hopeful Regina City Council's leadership in approving their portion of funding prompts other levels of government to do the same. The Globe does have an application to Ottawa for $12 million in grants through the Build Canada Strong Fund, which is yet to be approved. But now Council is looking to the province to step up.
We are part of the province, and to see that it is the city that has to step up is so incredibly frustrating, knowing that the impact to them is going to be so much less.
Earlier this week, the province announcing its support for arena projects in North Battleford, Prince Albert and Saskatoon.
What's good for Saskatoon is good for Regina. But I call on the provincial government to follow our lead here today. We need your help.
And while the province did partner with the Globe through its renovations, the agreement did not include covering cost overages.
Given the investment that the three levels of government have already made in the Globe Theatre, I'd like to have a conversation about what that looks like.
Wyszynski says Council's approval has a wider impact to the entire downtown.
Institutions like the Globe Theatre that provide vibrancy to our community, that's what really drives people to be downtown.
Downtown is really blossoming, and I think Council just agreed that we're a big part of that.
The $1.38 million grant will come out of Regina's General Reserve, a fund used for emergencies. This ask, the mayor says, meets that criteria. Donovan Mace, CTV News, Regina.
Estevan is the latest Saskatchewan city to be equipped with an MRI. The $6 million project at St. Joseph's Hospital was funded by donors, going ahead despite the Saskatchewan Health Authority initially saying no to the idea. Wayne Mantika has more.
The new MRI at St. Joseph's Hospital in Estevan goes into operation this week, with 1,000 patients already booked.
So our area, we have quite a large area. It's Estevan to Yorkton, all the way to Fort Qu'Appelle, down to the border over to Manitoba. And they sent us about a big bulk batch of about 600 recs. Now we have over 1,000 recs.
Estevan wasn't on the SHA's list of future sites for an MRI when local donor Elaine Wackham offered a $2 million donation toward one at St. Joseph's. Initially, the SHA turned down her offer.
The various people said, no, we can't do this, this can't happen, and da-da-da. So I just kept trying and getting different people, and other doors opened.
The SHA was concerned about ongoing operating costs. Elaine wanted to honor the memory of her late husband, Grant, and persisted in securing approval.
You know how it is when somebody tells you can't do something and you decide, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to work harder at this. I'm going to get it done. And that stubborn streak in me just said, no, I want this. These people need it. We all need it.
The Hospital Foundation quickly raised $4 million in additional donations, and the province agreed to cover the $2.5 million annual operating cost. 4 members of the existing medical imaging staff have taken training.
We pushed to get this through, and of course, as we all know, with bureaucracy and different approvals and all of that kind of stuff, they think other communities are more important because they have longer wait times, but they didn't have a donor who was willing to offer $2 million. So we just kept asking.
Until now, Saskatchewan had 13 MRI units located in Saskatoon, Regina, and Moose Jaw. Estevan becomes the 14th through the persistence of a donor who wouldn't take no for an answer. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Estevan.
More primary care options are on the way for Saskatchewan residents in the form of nurse practitioners. More than 24 nurse practitioners are under contract with the Ministry of Health, with applications now being accepted for more down the road. Stacey Hine has the details.
I feel incredibly honored to have the opportunity to serve my home community in this new role as a nurse practitioner.
Erin Boyce is Martensville's newest nurse practitioner under a primary care contract with the province, expected to care for at least 800 patients.
As nurse practitioners, we can help alleviate the stress on the system with enhancing accessibility.
Boyce is one of 26 nurse practitioners who recently signed on to provide publicly funded primary care through contracts with the Ministry of Health. The contract program launched last year, and the Saskatchewan Association of Nurse Practitioners says interest has been strong.
We knew that there was a need. We were interested ourselves, but I don't think we fully knew that it was going to take off and have this amount of interest.
Earlier this year, the province removed the cap on the number of contracts the Ministry of Health can offer. The health minister says the change is helping expand access to primary care, but more work remains.
As long as we have unattached patients in the province, it's not enough. Right? And so while we still have unattached patients in Warman and Martensville and other communities, it means we need to add more practitioners.
The NDP says while it welcomes more primary care nurse practitioners, the province is still facing a recruitment and retention crisis. And it says reaching a new collective bargaining agreement with healthcare workers would help.
We know that the system is bleeding out. We need to solve the crisis. That means signing a deal with healthcare workers as soon as possible, and it means addressing all the reasons why healthcare workers are fleeing to other provinces.
Earlier this week, the province highlighted thousands of healthcare hires, though Cockrell says they don't track exactly how many have left the system. However, he says recruitment efforts continue, with a third intake for primary care nurse practitioner contracts open until August 23rd. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Martensville.
No fair for Sabine tonight. She's back in studio to give us our first look at weather. And Sabine, we do have some thunderstorm warnings that have popped up in western Saskatchewan.
Yeah, it started out with a large area of the southwest Lee under severe thunderstorm watches, and then eventually started to see some of those transition into warnings. Now, as of right now, a lot of them have lifted, except there is a little area in and around the east end area in the southwest there where they are experiencing some thunderstorm activity. Most of it is around heavy rainfall. Environment and Climate Change Canada's messaging is that driving could actually be very difficult due to the heavy rain that's coming through that area, expected to come through with that storm. So something to keep in mind if you're planning on doing any traveling, especially tonight. The system is expected to clear as we head into tomorrow, which is going to be another very warm day. Today we were right within seasonal range, warmed up to just over 28 degrees. Average is about 26, 27 for your daytime high. And heading into tomorrow, we'll just climb a little warmer than what we saw today, and then we're going to see those humidex values getting back into the low 30s before the weekend, and we get nearing 40 again by Saturday. I'll have all the details coming up in your full forecast. Lee?
Thank you, Sabine. The province's recent heat wave is helping crops that were behind schedule, but for producers in drier regions, it did have a negative impact. Overall, most winter and spring cereal crops are in good or excellent condition. Most oilseed crops are in good condition, but the high temperatures did negatively impact some crops during the flowering period. About 2/3 of pulse crops are in good to excellent condition. The heat and dry soil conditions were the major contributors to reducing the quality of crops recently. Some producers also reported damage from gophers, aphids, and cabbage seed pod weevils. A man accused of second-degree murder in the shooting death of Tanya Myers on a Saskatchewan highway near Weyburn last year has had his bail review appeal denied. Myers was killed on September 12, 2025, when she was struck by a bullet while traveling in a vehicle on the highway. In November, 43-year-old Chris Fallman was arrested and charged with manslaughter. Later, that was upgraded to second-degree murder. Also charged intentionally in discharging a firearm while being reckless as to the life and safety of another person. Fallman was denied bail during his hearing in November, a decision he was trying to reveal with this appeal. reverse with the repeal. Well, the province's serious incident response team is providing a few more details about the arrest of a woman on a Saskatchewan First Nation earlier this week. On Monday morning, just after 5 o'clock, CERT says RCMP officers with the Loon Lake Detachment were at a home on the Makwa-Sagake First Nation north of Lloydminster to arrest a man on an outstanding warrant. It says after a long discussion with the people inside, the man came outside and was arrested. A second man then came out of the house and was also arrested on outstanding warrants. Now, CERT says during the second arrest, there was a physical altercation between the two officers and a 40-year-old woman. She then left the porch of the house and a second altercation happened between two vehicles. The officers used physical force and a taser to restrain her. The Ministry of Justice says even though the arrest did not result in serious injuries, CERT will still look into the force that was used. The 40-year-old woman involved in this incident was charged with 4 criminal offenses that include possession of cocaine and assaulting a police officer. CERT is also investigating the death of a man who died in police custody. RCMP say a 37-year-old man was arrested on the Thunderchild First Nation and taken to the Turtleford detachment yesterday afternoon. About an hour and a half later, he went into medical distress. RCMP provided medical assistance and medical professionals were called, but the man was declared dead at the detachment. A 25-year-old woman has died following a rollover west of Meadow Lake. RCMP say it happened just before 1:30 this morning. The woman was the only person in the vehicle. She was taken to hospital where she died. She has been identified as being from the Flying Dust First Nation, which is near Meadow Lake. Now, RCMP have talked about their frustrations with a lot of the fatal collisions they're seeing right now on roads. In fact, last year they saw the highest number of serious and fatal crashes in the last decade. In a report in 2025, Mounties called to 113 serious and fatal motor vehicle collisions involving impairment. That's up from 2016, when RCMP responded to 58 of those. They say there's been a steady increase in the number of crashes despite enforcement efforts that include check stops, education, and regular patrols. Now, last year, RCMP laid 1,650 criminal code charges for impaired driving and suspended 2,270 licenses. The service says with the long weekend coming up, they will be patrolling the roads and are urging people not to drive impaired, to slow down and pay attention while driving. Well, when Brant CEO and Regina Pats owner Sean Semple was pitching the city over taking over a portion of real properties, he explained that ticket prices for his WHL team were high because other avenues of revenue like concessions, advertisements were going to Real, who owned the Brant Center. Well, with the building soon to be in his hands, Semple is following through on expectations, announcing today decreased ticket prices for the upcoming season. Jacob Carr has more.
The Pats announcing significant changes to their ticket prices that will take effect this fall. For starters, the team is implementing new weekday ticket prices that will start at $12.25 per seat.
We know there's close somewhere between 7 and 10 weekday games a year. That's a good portion of our home schedule, and the more people we can have out at those games, it's better for the fan experience, better for the players on the ice.
The hope is to get fans in the city excited about Pats hockey once again, and to see the Brant Center nearly full on a consistent basis. The team feels bringing bigger crowds back into the fold will have a positive effect on the business as a whole.
More people in the arena, you have the more sponsors that want to attend, the more that the sponsorships are worth, right? Obviously, if you're selling food and beverage, there's obviously revenues there, right? The more people in the building, the more merchandise you sell as well.
Single game tickets are also being reduced by 15% across the board, and the team has created a new family zone at $12.50 a ticket that the Pats say will encompass around 700 seats inside the Brant Center. After several discussions as an organization, the Pats decided to go with the family fan zone over a children's price ticket.
We thought it was a better approach for our business model to open it up to families and individuals that want to sit in that zone at a rate that is lower than our traditional walk-up price.
The Pats ownership group hopeful that these announced changes, along with the prospect of a contending team that will put more wins on the board in years to come, will bring back fans young and old to the Brant Center. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
City of Saskatoon has been rocked by the cost of a recent art display. 3 giant rock-like sculptures made out of plastic waste. The price tag, around $300,000. Laura Woodward has the story.
Gage Haubrick isn't sold on Saskatoon's new public artwork. Created by 2 Calgary artists, these rocks are made from plastic waste. The city paid nearly $300,000 for the 3 sculptures located at the Forestry Farm, Diefenbaker Park, and the landfill's Material Recovery Center.
Taxpayers shouldn't be shelling out hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay for large plastic rocks. It's ridiculous that anyone at City Hall thought this was a good idea.
In a written statement, the artist told CTV News the one-of-a-kind project required thousands of hours of specialized work and supported businesses in the local prairie economy. The city says the project aims to get people talking about recycling and plastic waste. Haubrick calls it a waste of money. He says the cost is equivalent to the annual municipal property taxes paid by 118 average homeowners.
So 118 families, their entire property tax bills went to building large plastic rocks instead of providing the services that people want in the city.
The city defended the spending, saying that the final cost remained within budget. City Council greenlit $310,000 for public art when it approved an adjustment to the Material Recovery Center budget in 2021.
I think the frustration and the response that we're getting from the community is valid. I've expressed my concern about the amount that this capital art program allocates, and I would like to see the percentage coming down.
Councillor Randy Donauer says he plans to bring up the concerns around these rocks at the next City Council meeting scheduled for the end of August. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still ahead, what should WestJet customers do with a flight attendant strike looming? Plus, a young Indigenous woman is frustrated her colon cancer symptoms were dismissed.
Airports are warning passengers about a potential travel disruption, with WestJet flight attendants ready to go on strike as early as Sunday. So what do you need to know if you were flying with WestJet? CTV's Alison Bamford has the options available and the protections that are in place.
The whole time been thinking about the what ifs.
The Mescal family is flying to Ontario, where they were supposed to meet up with their daughter, who's flying in from Montreal.
We had sort of alternative plans designed and thought through just in case there's a strike, and so with the news today we've decided to sort of go with that plan.
To avoid any possible flight disruptions, they cancelled their daughter's flight and instead will drive to pick her up. WestJet is offering free cancellations and one-time changes to all passengers booked between today and August 4th to limit potential strike impacts.
If they are able to move their dates, it's best to do so, just in case the strike does happen. It just makes it easier for the clients and for WestJet.
Gabor Lukács, president of Air Passenger Rights, recommends travelers stay put until WestJet cancels their flight.
Once they cancel your flight, you have far more rights.
If WestJet cancels flights, they're required to book passengers on the next available flight, including competitor airlines, or they must provide a refund. It's the passenger's choice. If these cancellations happened preemptively before the strike, Lukács says passengers are entitled to even more.
They have to provide you meals and accommodation and a lump sum $1,000 compensation, up to $1,000.
The Saskatoon airport encourages passengers flying with WestJet over the next few days to reach out directly to the airline if they require assistance. The airport says they do have plans in place to limit any potential disruption. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
In Alberta, a woman in her 20s has died after falling hundreds of meters during a backcountry hiking trip near Mount Shark, west of Canmore. Canmore RCMP say officers were called in late Tuesday afternoon to assist in a rescue. A group of 4 people were hiking when a woman lost her footing and fell. Members of the hiking party did climb down, attempted first aid, and used an emergency device to call for help. Strong winds prevented a helicopter from reaching the scene, though. The group was able to get down the mountain today, and the woman's body has been removed. Nova Scotia's Justice Minister says the Mounties need more resources to do their jobs.
Many times, a fully kitted, trained police officer has to sit in an emergency room with someone for hour after hour, and that keeps them off the street. Maybe somebody else would have the skill set and the training to do that job.
The Nova Scotia government says it will spend $16 million more this year, with annual spending of $18 million in the coming years, as part of a plan to hire 25 new officers. The funding follows a public inquiry into the 2020 mass shooting in the province, which called for the Mounties' role in rural policing to be reconsidered. The Justice Minister says the additional funding and officers will help make communities across Nova Scotia safer. A story now that sparks the importance of early detection when it comes to cancer. A 39-year-old Indigenous woman with colon cancer is on a mission to raise awareness after she says her symptoms were largely downplayed by medical professionals. Abigail Beeman has her story.
After 2 days, a nurse comes and disconnects the bag from me.
Jillian Niles shows us the realities of chemotherapy, part of a determined quest to prevent others from sitting in this hospital bed.
Numerous doctor's appointments saying, like, listen, there's something wrong. I don't feel good, and I'm having trouble going to the washroom. It's irregular. The blood in my stool is concerning, and they just kept sweeping it under the rug as, oh, it's hemorrhoids.
Niles suffered debilitating pain for 3.5 years, begging to be heard, she says, before a doctor finally ordered further tests.
Then they found my cancer, but they found it at stage 3.
Incensed it wasn't caught sooner, despite detailing symptoms and telling doctors her grandmother died of colon cancer. As an Indigenous woman, she says she was caught up in stigma.
They were very happy to say, okay, you're in pain, let me give you this medication. But at the same time, I was saying, no, I don't want the pain pills. I want answers.
Both incidence rates and mortality from colorectal cancer has increased in our Indigenous Inuit Métis populations, which is kind of alarming.
Radiation oncologist Mark Godet says that's true across all age cohorts. In general, colon cancer rates are on the rise for Canadians younger than 50. Niles wants screening ages lowered further. She is just 39. And of all of the parts of her life she's grieving, she can't work or volunteer. The hardest is being less hands-on with her 3-year-old son, Jack.
It's very unfair because I want to be the best mom I can be in the world. So hopefully I'll make that up to him next year and for the rest of his life.
In the meantime, she's grateful for family, including her twin sister.
I believe in you. Okay, good.
And the help of nurse Diego Caesar with the Ottawa Hospital's Indigenous Cancer Program.
A later diagnosis, having to go through multiple avenues to get an answer, feeling unheard. I think that is a really common theme for everybody who's going through healthcare right now, but especially Indigenous people.
Niles hopes sharing her story will encourage others to self-advocate.
I want to really spread that awareness with everybody that you have the power to ask for help.
Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Russia's showing no signs of halting its ongoing invasion of Ukraine. Strikes today, leaving at least 8 people dead and dozens more wounded. Up in a town close to the Polish border underway, with residents and rescue workers searching for survivors. Cities and towns across a wide area of Ukraine were targeted by missiles and drones. The intense violence follows reports of a shortage of interceptor missiles, which Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has been highlighting. Russia's defense ministry says its air defenses downed more than 250 Ukrainian drones overnight as they targeted depots linked to Russia's largest online retailer. Meanwhile, with those Russian attacks targeting Ukrainian areas so close to its border with NATO territory, Poland scrambled fighter jets earlier today to secure its airspace. Sirens could be heard in the early morning hours southeast of Warsaw. Closer to the border, residents in an eastern town reported a loud explosion and found a crater and debris. Poland's government believes the cause was likely a Russian ballistic missile. NATO Secretary Mark Rutte called the incident yet another reckless act by Russia and a dangerous consequence of its war against Ukraine. And rescuers are racing to find survivors after the deadly earthquake that struck Japan. The death toll from Tuesday's quake has moved up to 23. Crews searching through a badly damaged shopping mall in the town of Kashima, which was filled with shoppers when the earthquake struck. An explosion tore through the mall, causing its second floor to collapse. 6 people confirmed dead. Crews are also searching through a paper factory after a chimney collapsed, killing 8 people. 10 people have been rescued, but 1 is still missing.
Still ahead, a look at how the Queen City X is providing a more inclusive environment for those with sensory, mobility, or cognitive issues.
It's a win for the arts community, but is everyone behind it? Friday on Your Morning, we're in conversation with the Globe Theatre about their $1.38 million ask to keep their doors open.
back. Let's take a look at your forecast as we approach closer and closer to August long weekend. As you can see that the QCX is still in full swing. Get it? Swing. Okay. We had no heat warnings in Saskatchewan today. 28 is what we're sitting at, and there is no humidex level to talk about right now because 28 is what we are feeling as we head into this evening. Warmed up to about 29 degrees, felt close to 29 throughout most of the day as well. So that could explain why we did see a lot of those heat warnings start to lift. Getting a little break today and possibly tomorrow until we could see some of those heat warnings be reissued as we head into the weekend. I'll talk more about that coming up. But right now, I do just want to point out that we do have some severe thunderstorm watches and warnings in effect. So obviously the larger shaded area are the watches. There's a little area around the RM of Arlington, including Dollard, I believe it is. That's where we're seeing that storm right now. It is moving eastward at about 40 kilometers an hour. With it, there is a possibility of the development of loony to ping pong size hail, very heavy localized rainfall, and winds gusting up to about 110 kilometers an hour. That is what Environment and Climate Change Canada is tracking right now. So something to be very mindful of if you were planning on being on the road this evening in that area. Maybe just let that storm pass before you decide to hit the road. Other than that, we're going to continue to see mostly clear conditions as we head into tomorrow and for the weekend. Of course, with this heat, there is a possibility we could see the development of some pop-up showers throughout the day. But as of right now, what it looks like is just a whole lot of sunshine and that heat continuing to stick around. So active weather-wise, we could see some scattered showers in and around the Prince Albert, Saskatoon area early morning tomorrow. But other than that, a lot of southern Saskatchewan looking like we'll be seeing mostly clear conditions continuing into Saturday as well. Again, there was that little pop-up storm early morning in the Yorkton area Saturday morning that we could see some scattered precipitation again. But other than that, it's just sunny and clear as we continue into the weekend. It won't be until we get into Sunday where we see some more scattered precipitation, but the larger system is coming from Alberta and looks like it's tracking more so north of the Saskatoon area. Saskatoon actually could see some rain heading into Monday, and Monday is the day where we're going to see a pretty significant drop in those temperatures from what we have been seeing to what we're expecting to see on Monday. But temperatures tomorrow continuing to be above seasonal, high 20s, close to the 30s, 27 for Yorkton, Saskatoon tomorrow, 28 mainly sunny for North Battleford, the southwest, even warmer, 33 for Maple Creek and Swift Current. Maple Creek expecting some of that rain tonight, possibly a risk of thunderstorm. 32 mainly sunny for Moose Jaw in the southeast, similar temperatures, 33 for Assiniboia, 30 for Weyburn, and 29 in a mix of sun and cloud for Estevan. Regina tomorrow, 30, feeling like 33, winds picking up to about 40 kilometers an hour, mainly sunny. And then as we get into Saturday, the warm-up returns. Saturday, nothing but sunshine, 33, feeling like 37. So a very warm day. Again, if you're planning on going out to the QCX, maybe just make sure you've got a hat, sun protection, and some water with you. Sunday, we start to see a little bit of a shift. The low will, by the evening, we will drop to about 12 degrees as the expected low. 28 is the expected daytime high, feeling like 34, but then we see that drop as we head into Monday. Cooler than our average daytime high, which is about 26 degrees. 20 is the expected daytime high. And on Sunday and Monday, I do want to point out that we do have some strong wind gusts expected, gusting up to about 60 kilometers an hour. Tuesday, another cooler than average day, 23, mainly sunny, and then we'll see those temperatures bump right back up by Wednesday, 26, and by Thursday, mainly sunny and 29 degrees. So a cooler start to August, the first week of August anyway, but I mean, August 1st is Saturday, so a very hot Saturday and Sunday before we see that cool down heading into next week.
As far as the long weekend, you mentioned that system on Monday. That'll stay away from southern Saskatchewan?
Yeah, as of right now, it doesn't look like we're going to really see much rain. It'll just be cooler. That is due to that system that's going to be coming through with that rain further north of us.
Okay, up in Saskatoon. Perfect. All right, thank you, Sabine.
You bet.
When you think of the Queen City X, what comes to mind? Bright lights, music, the screams from thrill seekers on rides. But for some, like those who have autism, that can be a bit of a difficult environment to be in. As Damian Smith tells us, that's why the X provided a more inclusive option today.
A carousel without music is just one way the Queen City X is fostering a more inclusive environment. For the first couple of hours on day 2 at QCX, organizers provided Kidway Morning, a sensory-friendly gathering for youth and young adults who experience mobility and cognitive challenges in their daily life.
There's definitely a full spectrum of accessibility needs and sensory needs, and we want to make sure that we're providing an opportunity for everyone to come out and try something.
Changes made compared to standard hours are lights and music being turned off, as well as smaller street-style performances.
So it's a very small focused group. You don't have the major crowds. There's not as many people. It's not as sensory overstimulating in terms of the size of the crowds.
And for the Autism Resource Center, they say it's really encouraging to get to see the forward motion in the community.
Sensory isn't just for neurodivergent or autistic folks. It's something that everyone has. So we all have our own preferences and things that we like or dislike.
We're also getting a lot of calls from schools and from various organizations saying, hey, we're thinking about incorporating a sensory space. Can you help us give us some guidelines?
The sensory spaces will continue at the QCX with the Joshua Tree Quiet Zone open from 12 to 6 p.m. every day, providing an opportunity for those who need to recharge.
So being able to take a space and just take a break and let your senses calm down, and then being able to continue on and enjoy the rest of the day where otherwise you might have been so overwhelmed that you had to go home.
According to events and guest experience, the Kidway Morning had about 100 children signed up for this year. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Still ahead with A.J. Ouellette out of the lineup with a knee injury. Wally Conley hopes to hit the ground running against Edmonton.
Here's what's happening in our community. The used book sale will be held on August 1st at 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. at 101 Center Street in Regina Beach. For more information, you can call 306-729-2062. And Midsummer's Art Festival will be held on August 1st at 10 a.m. downtown Main Street in Fort Capel. For all the details, head to msaf.ca. Submit your event to our community by visiting our website, ctvregina.ca, and click Community Calendar or scan the QR code on your screen.
Love that music. Defensive back Roland Milligan Jr., who left practice yesterday with a knee issue, is out for Saturday's game in Edmonton, as is running back A.J. Ouellette. So in the second time this season that Ouellette has been sidelined due to an injury. But as Donovan Mace tells us, his backup, Wally Conley, has already proven that he can get the job done.
Also out right now.
Saskatchewan Roughriders running back Wally Conley made quite the first impression. Getting early season chances in the Rider backfield, the rookie tailback is finding his way in the CFL.
The first time was just getting all like the jitters out and actually like playing in the CFL game and how different it is from like the States.
Star rusher A.J. Ouellette out for a second time already this season, injuring his knee in last Thursday's loss to Edmonton.
And a nice pickup right up the middle for Wally Conley.
In his first 2 CFL starts, Conley rushing for over 100 yards and notching his first career touchdown. Running backs coach Andrew Harris says the two backs present many of the same qualities but are very different rushers on the field.
He catches the ball and he's a little more fluid and a little more elusive in between the tackles. AJ's more of a downhill, one cut kind of guy.
Harris adds Conley is a quick learner and continues to be more comfortable in the offense each snap he sees.
He has lots of questions and he takes coaching well. A lot of guys, you try to tell them something, they act like they've been there before and they've done it before. That's the complete opposite of Conley.
And despite their differences, Conley says he's been going to school, soaking up all the veteran knowledge around him as possible.
I learned a lot from AJ. He's just the teacher back. Basically, he do everything right, and he's very patient, I feel like, and just him coaching me on the sidelines is very helpful.
For Ouellette, he's out for at least Saturday's game against the Elks and potentially more. The Riders saying he will be evaluated on a week-to-week basis with no true timeline for his return. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Well, Saskatoon Berries are trying to inch closer to the Moose Jaw Miller Express for the top seed in the WCBL's East Division. The league is entering its final weekend of the regular season.
He hits this one in the air, straightaway center. Going back is Jalen King at the wall. You can kiss that baby goodbye. It's a grand...
Josh Henson's fifth inning grand slam solidified a massive 17-4 victory for the Saskatoon Berries over Medicine-Hat last night. The win does put the Berries within a game and a half of first place Moose Jaw. The Mavericks loss also helping out Weyburn and Regina's playoff chances despite both those teams losing. The Beavers falling 12-7 at home against Swift, while Regina finished an 8-game road trip with a 10-2 loss against the Gulls in Sylvan Lake. And Europe's governing soccer body has voted to boycott future World Cups if FIFA goes ahead with a plan to sell stakes in future competitions to private investors. FIFA President Giovanni Infantino wants to spin off FIFA's commercial operations into a new $20 billion subsidiary with 20% owned by private investors. He has set a deadline of September 19th for members countries to accept the $20 million offer in a controversial plan. The European body known as UEFA held an emergency meeting today where members voted to boycott FIFA competitions if the plan goes through. In a statement, the group said, quote, "Some things are simply too important to sell." And the majority of the player teams that made the quarterfinals this year from UEFA when it came to the World Cup. Soccer Confederation that Canada plays under, known as CONCACAF, has also rejected the plan from FIFA, but it did stop short of saying that they would call for a boycott.
Still ahead, Connexus Credit Union is pleased with results of their recent merger.
Let's take a look at your rural forecast heading into tomorrow. Another very warm day. Some areas a little cloudier like Hudson Bay, 27 degrees there, but 27 mainly sunny for Watrous, 31 for Outlook, 30 for Kindersley, and 28 degrees for Meadow Lake, Lloydminster, 26 for Wynyard, Spiritwood, and Melfort, 25 degrees. All within seasonal, if not warmer than seasonal. And closer to the southern border, that's where we see those temperatures dipping back into the 30s. 33 for Leader, Maple Creek, Rockglen, Coronac, Assiniboia, 32 for East and Cypress, 30 for Rosetown, Lumsden, and Pilot Butte, and 28 over in the southeast for Carlisle, 27 for Broadview, and Kenora, 26 degrees. A closer look at Purdue, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel. Warming up to 27 degrees tomorrow, mainly sunny. There is a low chance of some showers early in the morning tomorrow, but again, warming up to 27 degrees, but a very muggy day ahead because with the humidity, expect it to feel closer to about 33 by late afternoon.
7 months after Connexus, Cornerstone, and Synergy credit unions merged to form Saskatchewan's largest credit union, the focus remains on bringing the three organizations together. The merger did take place at the very beginning of the year, January 1st, creating a network of 57 branches serving 50 communities across the province. Connexus CEO says members should continue receiving the services they're used to, with future plans focused on enhancements, including improvements to digital banking and access to a broader branch network, adding that the merger has already shown some benefits.
And our intent there was to continue to grow with our members, so the success of our members, as they get larger from a commercial or ag perspective, we can continue to grow with them as we have pooled our capitals and we are able to support in that lending capacity.
The credit union says it remains committed to its rural and small branches. And Ted Lasso Season 4 starts streaming next week. Today, we're getting a first look with the new trailer.
Oi, welcome back. It's good to see you.
You too. New season picks up with Ted facing a new challenge, coaching a second division women's soccer team. The 10-episode season premieres on August the 5th, with episodes dropping weekly. Let's take a look at the farm market boards. Canola street price, a lot of red arrows we've seen lately. It's down $3.30 to $716.65 per ton, while the futures price is down $2.80 to $768.60 per ton. Still got Ted Lasso. Oh, no, I got Amber durum wheat, $285.20 per ton, while red spring wheat's down $4.38 to $304.88 per ton. Feed barley, $223.21 per ton, and flax is $630.54 per ton. Those are courtesy of Bunge and ICE Futures Canada. The stock markets, TSX 172 points, while the Dow Jones is up 613 points, so some green arrows there. Green arrow as well for the Canadian dollar. It's up almost 0.3 cents to 71.41 cents U.S. How about those commodities? Gold up 3 cents. West Texas Intermediate crude down 79 cents, while Western Canadian Select crude a bit of a jump up $5.03. And gas in Regina. We've seen it kind of all over the board a little bit, but mainly now it's gone up, and you'll see it for $1.79.9 per liter.
Apple reported earnings after the end of the trading day. The iPhone company reported revenue of just under $110 billion U.S. for its latest quarter. That is 16% better year over year. Mac sales were up 29%, iPhones up 22%. But sales in China are slowing and missed the estimate, which could be why investors sent the stock down in after-hours trading. Amazon also reported earnings after the end of the trading day. All eyes were on revenue for Amazon Web Services. It was up 37% in the last quarter, hitting over $42 billion U.S. That beat expectations by over $1 billion. Investors are also keeping tabs on how much it's investing in AI. Amazon's full-year CapEx budget is $200 billion U.S. Loblaw reported earnings with revenue from its grocery chain, Shoppers Drug Mart, and its PC Financial business coming in at over $15 billion in the latest quarter. Drug retail was up 4.6% with a boost from the sale of generic GLP-1 weight loss drugs. Food retail gained 1.6%. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
After our newscast, stick around. We've got a couple of big bangs followed by Children Ruin Everything, 2 of those.
Yep.
Then Traders Canada. And you know what? I told them to throw in another big bang at 10.
Why not?
Triple big bangs.
And a couple of Children Ruin Everything.
Perfect night. A town official in Maple Creek put a new spin on the term bathing suit at the grand opening of their new water slide.
There you go. The official opening of the Cheyenne Bauer Memorial Water Slide was held on Tuesday. Mayor Michelle McKenzie and Chief Administrative Officer Barry Elliott took the plunge fully dressed, with Elliott wearing his best bathing suit, in quotes.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
That's always fun. A lot of fun. Remember when Rhiannon Foley went down the water slide? That was Wascana Park Live.
Never forget.
Took an hour later.
Firefighters in Kamloops had a unique call this week at a local resident's backyard swimming pool.
Who's going for a swim?
Yeah, I guess I can.
Oh, dear. Kamloops Fire Rescue shared this video on social media. A mule deer fawn somehow ended up in the pool and couldn't get out on its own. A firefighter did pull the fawn out once it got to the edge, wasn't happy about it, and it wasted no time running back to find its mom.
Okay, I liked how they were like, who's going for a swim? And the guy's like, I guess I will.
Who's going to save the deer? Not me. But
they did it, though.
They did it. They saved the deer.
I'm so sorry you missed me yesterday at the end of the show.
It was boring.